Hello, friends. It's me. Happy Sunday. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I got a ton of rest, so I'm wild and happy. I want to first thank you so much for showing my mom so much love when I did that small interview with her the other day. So if you haven't seen that video, please go over and check it out. I also did a short on this ring. This is Moonstone, and it's by Carlo Viani. He's a very famous silversmith, and this moonstone ring was at the Thrift, and it was in a fitted box, and that's in one of the short feeds. So I thought I'd wear that today because it's an awesome ring. If you're wondering why I'm all bundled up, it's because the temperature dropped, so I'm freezing today. If you hear the heat on in the house, that's why as well, because Ohio is so unpredictable with its weather. But thank you again so much for warming me up today and getting me going, and thanks for the love that you showed my mom. Today's video, I have bags and bags and bags of stuff that I've bought over the last 2 weeks. Tons of turquoise stones that I found in my studio. That'll come to another video, but there's amazing turquoise stones and amazing turquoise beads in this that I found in my studio that I had forgotten that I had. Tons more boxes on the table. I had set aside this for my next video. It's going to be on glass jewelry. So I set aside a book on Art Deco jewelry and also glass. And then this peacock eye necklace. This just came in, and it's on sterling silver with glass peacock eye. That'll be in the coming videos, so that's kind of a sneak peek. That's what I was supposed to do today, but you know how this always works out. My best laid plans go awry. And then this was the this was the arts and crafts jewelry that I was gonna do 3 days ago. So I'm behind on my videos. So this week might be a little bit hectic, but I'm still going to try and produce videos all the time. 2 minutes in. Thank you again so much. My mother absolutely loved your comments and your love on the video that I did with her, on that interview with her, or that chit chat. And she is going to come on again with me. We had such a good time. She wants to tell some stories about me as a kid. She wants to share with you about how I was as a child. And then also she wants to come back on and she wants to show you some of the things that I bought her over the years, some of the more vintage and antique pieces in her collection that I had bought for her for birthdays and Christmas. So she wants to do that. And again, thank you so much for the love. She is having such an amazing time reading all the comments. And unfortunately on YouTube, there was a glitch the other day and I couldn't respond to every comment. So I just sent out a thumbs up and a heart as we read them. And there was 254 comments for us to go through. She feels like a rock star. So just know that you've not only changed my life, but you are changing her life and making her extremely, extremely happy. And, anyways, let's get into this. So I'm going to pause you. We're going to go over to Lightbox and I'll show you some of the treasures that I've acquired over the last little bit. So, again, it's early morning here and I'm throwing together. This is, totally thrown together really quick just to come on and share some time with you today. Oh, and then on this side, this is another of the glass pieces that I'm going to bring on. And these are two separate necklaces, but I didn't want to get them all tangled up, so I stored them like that. And then this amazing Art Deco, beautiful Czechoslovakian glass necklace. I'll bring this to the glass video. That was still seated out. And a repair. I have to do a repair on this early turquoise cuff. It's missing a scroll, and it's also got 2 breaks to the inside band. So I have to fix that. So that was out on my desk, and I thought, I got to leave that out because it's Sunday fun day. I have to do some repairs this afternoon. Hold on 1 second. Sorry for the chaos and craziness, but you know how I roll. I'm nuts. So I'll talk to you in 1 sec when we go over to the Lightbox. Mwah! Give me 1 sec. All right, so welcome back to my Lightbox. This is the first ring that I wanted to show you today. And thank you again so much for liking and subscribing to my videos and my channel. You are really pushing my numbers through the roof, and I'm so incredibly grateful. So here is a ring that I bought at a flea market, and this was, oh boy, I think it was like 2.5 or 3 weeks ago. I'm losing track of time over here, but the central diamond in here, this is a kind of an heirloom ring. So these are all older stones that were passed down in a family, and then this lady put them all together into one ring. I did a short feed on this, and it got such loving support that I wanted to bring it and show you. So this is a carat, let's see here. Oh, I have the breakdown. Let me just put that in here right now so you can get a quick look at that. So it is a one, here we go, getting messy already, 1.08. So it's just, this one's just over a carat, and that's the actual weight because it was removed from the mounting to get an actual weight. So it wasn't estimated. It wasn't measured in millimeters and then an approximate. It is exactly over a carat. And then the rest of them are beautifully done. Some are European cut, and I've talked about European cut stones before, but look at the scintillation again, and the vibrance and the color dispersion in all of those stones. They're very closely matched in color and clarity. So it's a beautiful ring. It was appraised, let's see here, I think it was 2016. It was appraised for $10,995. We all know that insurance or fair market appraisals are, shall I say, inflated. Not on fair market, not as much as for insurance, but fair market means what you'd have to pay to get a similar ring. And I wouldn't think that you could get this for any less than probably, in today, probably 5,000 to 6,000 would be more accurate, but the $10,000 seems a little bit high. But at any rate, the weight estimation, I think it was a total carat weight. Once again, it's not broken down in a total carat weight, but I calculated and it was like 2.46 or 2.48 total carats of diamonds, but beautifully done. And I wanted to show that, and I got a great buy on it. And I had to buy it. Its size and its scale and its history. I loved that kind of scalloped design. Very beautiful. I loved its asymmetry. And again, very well crafted in 14 karat white gold. Very beautiful, and I just love the way they put the stones together. I may eventually add a stone here and here just to kind of close that in a little bit more. I don't have to, but I very well might. And what I might do is put a tapered baguette here, and then maybe a tapered baguette or a triangular shaped diamond there, just to kind of close in that space because it looks a little clumsy, but I do love this ring very much. So there was that one. And I will buy diamonds and from time to time, but that one will be a quick sell. Oh, and then this one. I bought another diamond ring at the pawn the other day. Let me slip it off of this. And contemporary, so 4 diamonds making the central cluster. I believe the total carat weight on this one is a carat 60. So it would be 1.60 carat. It's in white gold. The only reason why I bought this one is it was under $300, and to get a full 1 carat in the center, even though 4 princess cut divided, the mounting was beautiful. And please note again how white gold is actually pale yellow under the rhodium. When you look on the inside of the ring, see how white that is? It's very, very white. And then you look at the outside, that's because the rhodium has worn away. There's a lot of times when you can get something for not a lot of money. And let me bring that over now. I'm going to find that ring. I'm going to take a quick look. Excuse the ruckus in the background because, well, I guess maybe I misspoke because, oh, nope, here it is. I'm going to go with, well, I'll just leave this here for a second. So this was from the Thrift. Oh, there's my receipt. It doesn't matter if you see what I paid for stuff. I don't mind. Or see where I shop. No big deal. So this one, I bought this rhinestone brooch for $12. And this is very lovely. It's from the late 50s, early 60s, not signed. The stones are in pretty good condition. Let me move my receipt out of the way. And then I bought this strand of, well, I'll show you everything I bought there. I bought this strand of beads, and these are just faux pearl. Probably Joan Rivers or possibly Honora. I'm not sure. They were $6, but it's a great big strand, and I thought someone would love the color of these, so I bought those for resale. And then let's move this back into the frame. And then I bought this pendant, and this is just great. It is signed on the back by the artist, but it's so beautiful. Sterling silver, and when you flip this up, it has a beautiful saying. Good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they are always there. And that is totally true. I believe that 100%. And then there's a bezel set moonstone, and again, signed on the back, and that's Kathy Brenz. I looked her up. Brensfield? Bransfield and 925. So she is known, and I found one on eBay that was $79.99, and I think I paid $30. No, I paid $15 for this. I take that back. I paid $15 for this one. It was half price, so I got that one for $15. So I think I got it for $15. Anyways, I lost track. And then, who cares? Who cares what I paid? And then I got this one. It's Krementz, and this one was $15, but Krementz sells very well, so that'll probably go on Jeremy's eBay because he does so well with Krementz. Here is the one. So this was, and I'm out of breath because I get so excited. This one was $25. It's marked on the inside right there, and I don't know why they discounted the mark or ignored the mark, but it's marked right there. And my fingernails look dirty, but they're not, because that's fingernail polish, because you know how I like to be passive aggressive with my fingernail polish. For those of you who always comment, I don't like that you paint your nails. Well, guess what? My channel, it's going to happen. All right, enough of that. 14, I know most of you are laughing right along with me. 14K, and it's K14, and then the WB or WG after that. WG, it looks like. Anyways, that is 14 karat gold. And the reason I think why they didn't think it was gold is because the rhodium is worn off of the gold. So I brought this home, tested it. It does hold up with acid at 14 karat. So I used my stone and my acid and I tested it, solid 14 karat. When you see this scrolled design, that always to me was from Japan. Now this may not be Japanese, but that was a telltale sign that I was looking at a finer construction. So I slowed down and I looked at it, but it was in the tray with the sterling rings. And I did a short feed on this one as well. So you're looking at amethyst, turquoise, likely stabilized, and a bloodstone. So you're looking at 3 beautiful gems, kind of like jelly beans in a way. Sizable ring, very large presence across the finger. So I love that diagonal design and then that scroll, but look how thick the metal is. Look how thick and chunky. But again, note the wear on that pale yellow where the rhodium had worn off. So the rhodium didn't wear off of this because it didn't see a lot of wear, but around the finger, of course it's going to be worn. Look for that. Pay attention to the color of metal. So when I saw that in the tray of sterling rings, you'll see in the short feed, all the sterling rings were kind of one color. When something sticks out that is unusual, it doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's different than the rest. So I always picked out the different than the rest. So just in gold alone on this, it's going to be around $160 to $170 just in the weight of the 14 karat gold. Enough of that. Oh, and then I got a really cool Florenza pin, and this was up in Cleveland. And look at this Florenza pin. He's missing an eye, but it's a black cat, and by Florenza. And it was free with a purchase that I had made a purchase, and the gentleman gave me this black cat pin, and I loved it very much. But I'll fix that eye in 32 seconds. I have so many rhinestones laying around, and I'll fix that pin and get it all fixed up. So, oh yeah, so look at these side by side. So I'll give you the side by side. People say to me, well, show us. Well, here you go, I'll show you. So 14 karat white gold on both of these, and you can note that the wear is a very similar color. So white gold is pale yellow underneath rhodium. So those are both solid gold. So please pay attention to the color of the metal. Now, white gold doesn't always look like that. If it's not worn, it will look white. It will look rhodium plated because they rhodium plate all white gold. There is no exception to that. And let me put all this back in here. And let me put this back on here so I don't lose it. But yeah, that was a beautiful thing. I got lint all over everything today. All right. So we're going to focus on putting that away. And thank you again so much for being with me. You know how crazy I am. 3 Bakelite bracelets, and I just bought them because these are kind of an easy sell now. Let me zoom back out. This big, thick, chunky, marbleized brown. That is gorgeous Bakelite. And look at the color difference. So that's oxidized on the outside, patinaed with oxidation, that's turned that kind of cream or yellow color a more golden and a more brown and a more rich surface. marbleized, heavily marbleized. It's 1.125 wide, super thick walled too, so chunky, chunky. Brown is not a popular color in Bakelite, but I've always loved it, especially when it's that great big. And then 2 carved ones. This one kind of reminiscent of like a totem pole carving, a spacer that would be great amongst other bracelets. Again, notice the color difference. More pale yellow on the inside, and then more goldenrod on the outside, where this has seen sun and oxidation. So I'll get into a Bakelite video very, very soon. And then this one needs to be scrubbed and cleaned. But look at the depth of the carving of the leaves and the tropical nature of these leaves. So beautiful. And I love that they put these little dimples that, the oxidation has settled into. I don't think this necessarily had a resin wash. I think that's just the oxidation that has settled into those recessed areas. But I loved those 3, and I kind of loved them together. Again, notice the noise. Notice that kind of clunky noise. It doesn't sound tin-like. It doesn't sound plasticky. It's got a rich kind of clunk to it. So I loved those, loved them very much. I'll bring those back into another video. These 2 were really interesting, and I got lucky on these 2 as well. I don't really want to go there where they came from, but this one's Jewels by Trifari, Crown Trifari here, and it's a ring that has interchangeable stones. So as I lose one, of course, it came flying out, but it's an interchangeable stone ring. So you can open this. Boy, this box sure is full today. So let me get this back out here and take a quick peek. Let's see. I think we lift up on, let's see, I don't want to break this. I was into it just the other day, and of course, yeah, I don't want to force it, because forcing things is never a good situation. But it opens here, and then this lifts open, and you can take this stone out. So these are all glass stones, glass cabochons, and then you just change the color of the stone by opening that ring up. And it's never been worn. This one had no wear to the metal, no wear to the metal, and there's the Trifari mark on the inside. So for an interchangeable Trifari, that's definitely going to head to eBay. And be sold on my eBay page. And hopefully within the next month or so. I'm going to slow down with a couple other things in my life and start to get back on eBay. This one's by Joseph Mazer. And this one, Joseph Mazer, and then later known as Jomaz, Jomaz. This one's Joseph Mazer. And then these stones are already set into metal. These are glass stones, again, and then they're on a post, like with a pin mechanism. So it's like a tie tack. You just push it in there, like so. Let me make sure I do this right. Oh, we have to lift up on the back. I forgot. There's a little thing, so you pinch this back thing in here. There's a little mechanism you pinch, and then you let it go, and it locks the stone in place. So it locks that cabochon down, and then you have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rings. So gold tone, and beautiful. And let's see if it's signed. Yeah, it is. It's signed Jomaz. Jomaz, right there. And so that's Joseph Mazer. Another one to look for. So someone may look at this and say, oh, maybe that would go for, maybe they would think $50, $60, $70. No, right now, because of the marketplace, this may go upwards to $200 or $300. And being in the fitted box and hardly ever worn, it may go higher than that. So that will also be listed on the site. And there's some things I sell local, and then some things that I list on eBay right away. So there's that one. So that'll be able to be found on my eBay hopefully within the next month. This was in a past video. These two are really cool. This pin and then this. And I wrote down some notes on this. So it's Will, and again, I'm not really sure if it's Dennet Dale, but I believe it's Dennet Dale, Denetdale, and it's Will Dennet Dale, and he is one of today's most sought after Native American silversmiths. A comp or a pair of earrings that were on that were just turquoise were $175, and a pendant this same size with just turquoise was $445 to $645. Now, I didn't look him up or Google him when I was at the store. This was from Frientique out in Worcester. I didn't Google him. What I did is I knew that these were fire agate and very high quality. So the earrings are approximately 3 carats, and the pendant is approximately 6 carats. I knew that those stones, like at a gem show, this would be easily $200 to $300 and maybe even more because of the color saturation. And then these would probably be around $40 to $50 a piece. So that's $100 and then about another $300 to $400. So I thought just in stones, it was well worth the $165. Sterling chain, sterling silver metal, and it is fully hallmarked on the back by William. It's fully hallmarked right there with his signature, sterling, and even the earrings are marked on the back. But look at those fire agate stones. Really incredible color play, and color saturation. Every way that pendant turns, you have beautiful, saturated, really electric fire agate. So that, again, will be headed towards eBay, and retail, I probably will put between $400 and $500 on it. And it's worth it. It's worth every penny of that. And it will go up because his work is very sought after. The brooch that I bought from, well, it was a local estate sale, and I laugh because they simply missed the mark. It is the well-known William Spratling conjoined hand brooch. And this was done for a very important reason. And there's a great history behind this brooch, but why I brought it on, I could get lost in that story, but why I brought it on is the conjoined WS, that's a very early mark for William Spratling, and then the Spratling silver in an oval. In the Hallmark book that I brought on many videos back, I could easily date this, and I do think it's later 30s, early 40s. And this one's probably circa 1940. 1940, 1945. And again, I should have looked it up before I came on here to make sure that I was exactly right, but this conjoined WS and then the Spratling mark and Spratling silver, very old, and the double fur clip mechanism, solid sterling silver, beautiful oxidation. And again, someone else could polish this. I would never polish this. It is so rich and so beautiful, but I love this pin. And what do we need more now in the world than friendship over borders? Just beautiful, just absolutely a beautiful thing. And I love it very much. So we'll put those two away. Thank you again for bearing with me. I wish I had this a little bit more prepared, but I just don't today. But this, you had asked to see what I've been buying. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm showing you what I've bought. These sometimes are not sterling silver and not real, but this one is sterling silver, citrine and rutilated quartz, and really beautiful, very well crafted on this. Now, I'll bring this on and I'll bring a fake one on down the road, but this one is solid sterling. This one is sterling through and through, all the way through. All the links are soldered, and then each little compartment and each little bezel that holds the stones are all soldered together, and then all the jump rings are soldered together. So there are fakes of this, so please be careful. Please be careful, especially with the rings, especially with the finger rings. There are a lot of fakes of this, but this is a genuine, and I'll get into how you can tell the real from the fake down the road. Meaning sterling silver as opposed to silver plate. But that's a beauty. That's a beautiful collar. Love the way the stones went together. I just loved it. And that was very inexpensive, so that was a yes. That was an easy moneymaker. And again, this is just my haul of, I stopped at so many different places, but this is a Vendome set, and it does have the original hang tag. Let me make sure I don't tear this apart. Let me slow down. So there's the Vendome hang tag that goes on this. And in my next, not maybe my next video that is released, I'm going to do a video on Juliana and D&E, and what they produced. And I do have Juliana pieces with their original hang tags. So I wanted to bring those on to show you a Juliana that has the original hang tags and kind of maybe dispel a few of the myths about D&E and Juliana and kind of clear up a little bit of information on the company that produced the Juliana line. So this one is Vendome, crystal and rhinestone double strand necklace, and a beautiful pair of earrings. So this is a quick sell as well. Most people that collect Vendome really do love unworn pieces, and this is a prime example because the earrings also have the hang tag, and they are signed Vendome. The clasp on the necklace is signed as well, but that was very affordable. It was $15. And I shouldn't, reveal that because I'm going to sell it for a lot more than that. But it was $15. So you can find really beautiful costume out there at affordable prices still to these days. So don't be discouraged when you go to the thrift and say, I'm not finding anything. It is a challenge. I will tell you, I've been at this for 30 years. So when I show you things, it's because I've been at it for so long, and some of these things have been with me for a little while. Not in this video, but in my other videos, yes. This is an iris, or Czechoslovakian. Got to check the origin on this, but I believe, well, it's Czechoslovakian glass. And when you unscrew this, the original thin glass dauber is there. I do need to go in and clean all of this up because it's very, very dirty with old perfume. And it does smell. It's a beautiful floral fragrance, but this is Art Deco. It looks like lapis glass, but they weren't really going for lapis, but the green of this was going as like a synthetic malachite. So beautifully faux carved. So that's all molded. So there is a central mold line that goes around the outside of this. So that's molded, but a sheared and polished bottom. But look how beautiful that glass is. And as a miniature perfume bottle, that was a had to have, and moderately priced. That was from an antique show, and I had to do that. This is interesting. I normally don't buy new silver that looks old, but this looks very, very old. This mounting looks very Edwardian, sterling silver. Someone may sell this as an old one, but they're wrong. It's a recast. Very crisp detail and a little clumsy in the metal and marked 925, so not an old one. But some people might sell that as old. It's not. The stone is a moissanite. So let me wipe that off real quick. And again, thank you so much for your patience. Look at that stone for a moissanite. It is just at 1 carat, and that's a great moissanite stone. Really fantastic. Look, it looks like a 4-year-old painted my nails because I'm basically like a 4-year-old. So, all right. Oh, and then this is the Carlo Viani sterling silver, peach moonstone, and blue sapphire, beautiful blue sapphire border. Fantastic, fantastic ring. And I loved this. Let me sneak it off. I love this. And it came in the original Carlo Viani. Did I say Giuliani? It's Carlo Viani. Viani. And Carlo was known for this. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And I think I knocked out one sapphire right there. I did. I knocked one sapphire out already, or another one. Yeah, I knocked another one out. So I'll have to get those replaced, but really beautifully done. Fantastic mounting, fantastic stones, and was nestled in its original box. And I did the short feed on this from the thrift store, and it was $80. And it had been there. Here's the weird part about this. It had been there for 15 weeks. 15 weeks. This sat at the thrift store for 15 weeks, and no one had the knowledge or the courage to buy it. And for $80, I found one online that's not as cool, and it was like $547 on Mercari or something like that, one of those sites. But I had to have that. And then this, I have so much more to show you. This I bought because these are getting so hard to find. These are getting really hard to find. These are not bench beads or Navajo pearls. These are not. These are technically not Navajo pearls. Anyone that calls them Navajo pearls, I definitely gently correct them. These are just bench beads, and there is a difference between Navajo pearls and bench beads. They are very old, and they are Navajo, and they are sterling silver, but I bought this because it's 24 inches long, and what's great about this is I could easily take this apart, not rip it apart, but just carefully take that off the mesh chain that it's on, because that's a cold connection. Open this ring, carefully take that out, unslip these, and I could put a pendant on it and sell it with a pendant. But I really love that it didn't have a pendant on it, that it's just the natural beads. So I might leave it alone, but I loved that, and it was very affordable. That was $51, and those are getting really hard to find. And then, let's see, the other one's not here to this. This could be a problem. This could be an issue. There's that one. And where's his little friend? Here it is. So halfway across the room, These are 2 koi fish rings in sterling silver. I bought these at the Thrift, and they thought they were costume because they weren't marked. But these are, oh, they are marked. Yeah, they missed the mark. 925 on the inside right there. But natural emerald. Those are real emerald and natural ruby eyes. And koi fish, like beautiful. And I had goldfish. Some of you have seen my videos of my goldfish that I did. And I love them. I had ranchu, I had a calico ryukin, I had some very fancy goldfish over the years, and my ranchu, I believe they came over from the 2 that I had, the 2 earliest ones, I think they came over from Japan. It was a long story, but I loved them very much, and they lived a long life, but they're so fun, and they're like swimming eggs. They look like a big egg because they don't have a dorsal fin, but I love those rings. And then this came from an antique show. And normally I don't buy these that much anymore, but because they just aren't selling. But this was a had to have. It's blonde hair, woven hair in almost a lover's knot pattern. We can, agree to disagree on the pattern on that, but I consider it a lover's knot. Blonde hair and 9-karat gold. With the crystal inset and the hair behind it, 9-karat gold there, a cut down or a cut back mounting, which is very reminiscent of Georgian jewelry or very early Victorian. I would date this around 1820. That's as close as we're going to get on this one. Just the normal C clasp, just a simple C hook, and then 9-karat gold on the back. This is just beautiful for its construction and unusual because they inset it in carnelian. So that gemstone border is genuine carnelian and very unusual to see. So that was a have to have, very small. And there was something about this, the energy, the love, I felt I had to bring this home. So this was a yes, and the dealer that sold it to me, she's delightful. She is just, and that sometimes makes all the difference to me when I'm buying and I'm consuming. If someone respects me, I just respect them back with a purchase. These are beautiful. I don't normally get into contemporary, but these were so 60s and almost 50s skeletal, and the articulation, the full movement of these bars, these sandblasted matte finished bars, $15. Dealer 901, bought it at a Thrift, and they are signed on the back right here. Where did the mark go? Right there. They're right there. So made in China, 925, and there's the maker's mark right there. That again, I'm not familiar with because I don't do contemporary, but the design and the craft, I instantly knew that retail I could get 50 to 65 and possibly maybe a little bit more. As I struggled to make them lay down for you, but I loved them. Very long, 2.5 inches, I think. Almost 3 inches maybe, and but beautiful craft, very well done, and sterling silver, definite silver, and I just loved them very much, so I bought those. We're almost done with the haul out of this one box, and we're at 30 minutes, I don't know, I might get into this other bag really quick. This cuff bracelet, beautiful stone inlay, absolutely wonderful work. I loved this bi-formed 2-surface band, and I just, there's something about the craft of this that really spoke to me. Signed on the inside. I'll look up the maker's mark eventually. I wasn't really worried about that. I just was worried about the fact that it was sterling and well crafted, so affordable at the Thrift, so affordable. This also came from the Village, so I'm never afraid to say where things come from, because why? This one was there for 15 weeks. It's marked down from 150 to 100. And at the Thrift, the prices are going up. Years ago, I would have been able to buy this. I wish I could take this apart. Years ago, I would have been able to buy this for much less money. But this is solid sterling silver. Now, a lot of these are plated, but as a silversmith, I just have the inside track. I look for the way the solder seams are, and I look for the way this is filed down. You can see that raw edge where they filed this, that's still raw. You can feel it. You see there's no color difference there. You can see that this is not plated. This is solid silver. You can see that the solder seams are correct for silver as well. It does need to be cleaned and scrubbed. So it does need a good cleaning. You can just see that where the solder seams are, where things are put together, you can see that slight color change. That's because that's a silver solder seam. And as a silversmith, I know what it takes to get things together. The green that you see here is right on the surface. So that comes off very, very easily. Very easily. That's because the solder is a lesser grade than the silver that they put together. You can see that on the edges, there's no secondary metal. You can see the solder there is also silver that they didn't plate over the whole surface. If you see it very uniform, I wish I had a piece of silver plate, but I don't have one right next to me. But if I'll bring a comparison on, so you can see a sterling version, a silver version, and this might be 800, it might be 900. I don't know yet. I haven't really tested it. Look at all the green I just got underneath my fingernail. Oh, so dirty. For the haters, they're gonna love this video. So thank God I only have 2 haters on YouTube. So soldered together, floral granulation, and then these shell-shaped forms. And then it came with the bracelet. And I'll tell you what, I would have bought the bracelet for $80. So I kind of got the bracelet for $80 and a necklace for $20. So I would have paid $120 for the necklace. So I'm $100 ahead, no matter how you look at it. But I loved the simplicity of the clasp mechanism as I fumble with this. I should have taken this all apart for you, but I haven't processed any of this. So this just goes through here. Love the simplicity of that clasp. Love, love, love the design of the necklace and the companion bracelet. So really beautifully done. And I guess here's the thing. I'm not afraid to spend when I know I'm going to make. And, you know, should you say that, well, that's very expensive for a thrift store, $100? Well, it most certainly is. It's very expensive for a thrift. But then again, you know, it takes money to make money sometimes. And I just look at it that way. This is a beautiful gold-filled bangle. It is personalized. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay that it's personalized. It is gold-filled. Does have a little dent, and I think it was... Where did the little dent go? I need to polish this. I need to polish it for sure. Just clean it up a little bit. But when you push this down, this lifts up. And the double bar situation here. And maybe it's signed there. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at that. But then you slip it on the hand. And then you close it down and it does snap in. So it does close up really well. But look at the detail on this gold-filled bangle. Again, years ago, these were very affordable. This was thought to be... you know, mere costume, maybe it was $35 to $45 back in the day. Now you can't touch an inch wide this amazing for less than $165, $185, maybe $200, depending on where you're selling it. This can be removed, but then you're going to be down to the base metal underneath the gold filled. That's not an attractive look. So what most people are doing is they're either living with that and loving it, that has been personalized like me, because I love the fact that it was given to someone as a love token. Or they could mount gemstones. Like I've seen people put diamonds across that, or they've put their birthstone across that. So there's ways to alter that, but I don't. I don't mess with history. I leave it alone. All right, well, I have 2 more bags completely filled, and we're at like 37 minutes. And, you know, people yell at me all the time for the length of my videos. Well, they don't yell at me, because if they do, you know I'm going to do the exact opposite. You know, I'm such a bad person. I don't know how I have any viewers. So this is a beautiful sterling silver belt buckle. And I bought this at the antique mall. Sterling silver, it was $52. And for $52, that was a yes. Even though the crushed inlay, the red coral and the blue turquoise in the crushed inlay doesn't sell well. It just never has. It goes this way. They had it mounted upside down. I'll have to change that. But there's the birds, there's the plants, there's the mountains, there's this beautiful TP, beautiful, beautiful design, great oxidation to the surface, and a tooled leather belt. So just the belt was worth, to me, $20. The buckle itself, probably $125. So maybe $150, $165 for this gigantic, I mean, it's huge. Look at my hand. It's a gigantic buckle, solid sterling silver, wonderful. That will head to eBay eventually. Let me get into... This was interesting, and I got lucky here. So they had in a case where, again, this person didn't deal in jewelry. They didn't deal in costume jewelry. They were dealing in like crystal and silver plate and fancy Victorian items. So they weren't a jewelry specialist. It wasn't a dealer who specialized in jewelry. So I snuck in and I got this. This was in a box, and it was $12 because all the jewelry in this like jewelry box on the bottom shelf was $12, and it is Vendome. And as soon as I saw the enameled leaves and I saw the little fleur-de-lis clasp, I said to myself, oh, that's Vendome. It was $12. And the receipt's here somewhere. I could prove it. I could prove that it was $12. But yeah, so that, I don't know. I mean, I've seen these sell between $60 and $125. Will I get greedy? No, it'll be a quick flip, but look how beautiful the enameling is on those floral, and then Aurora Borealis crystal, a double strand nonetheless. So that was beautiful. Let me get that out of the way. And then I'm going to try my best to pedal a little bit faster with this haul. But this is a mess is what this is. The whole box is filled now with paper. So this is art glass. Again, I have an intuition as to who this is. Not going to say it right now because I don't need people to say it's not, but I have a feeling I know exactly who this is. A rayon cord for the necklace, and then an inset copper wire with a lot of oxidation from age. This would be right around the late 50s, early 60s. It is art glass. This was $10, and it was hanging with a whole bunch of other costume jewelry, and I bought nothing else. And I guess I should tell you, when I go to the antique mall, there's, tens of thousands of things. Tens of thousands, if not 100,000 things. You go into an antique mall, it's filled. I only bought 8 items. So of 100,000 items, I only selected 8 items in my last trip. This was one of the 8. $10, and from what I gather, if it's who I think it is, it's several $100s. But again, a little bit of research and a little bit of time will give me the information that I need, because I'm not going to Google Lens this. Google Lens wouldn't know who this is. It wouldn't be able to tell me who that is. We're going to take that out. We're going to wrap that up just so I don't break it. Oh, there's that too. So I have a problem with some glass, and this is one of them. This is Victorian, and it's satin glass. It's a rose bowl, but what's great about this is it's a miniature. Look how small this is. It's tiny. It's so little. It's just the littlest tiny thing. I need to scrub it. I need to clean it. But look at that beautiful herringbone pattern and lavender, purple. That's unusual. These are normally blue. Sometimes they're green. Sometimes they're red. The purple, I've not seen this one before ever. A remnant of a very old label, and also a pontil where they pulled it off of the cane. So hand blown, hand crimped to make this top. But it's a rose ball, and it's so tiny. It's so little. They're normally twice the size or 3 times the size, but that's a little baby. It was only $21. So that might be the only thing I keep out of all of this, is that, just because back in the day, I wasn't able to afford those things at auctions. They would always go so high. Oh, this one. This was just simple resale as well. I got to get this cleaned up. But blue topaz and amethyst line bracelet in sterling silver. But look at the interesting mounting, that kind of tension set for the amethyst stones and natural stones. Blue topaz, amethyst, alternating, sterling silver, and a double locking clasp. So it has both little safeties that fold over and would lock that in place. And I think it's signed sterling down here. It is. It's sterling down there, right there. And so beautifully crafted. On that one, I'm probably going to get a retail of about 85 to 95. And I paid 20. So again, not historically important, but definitely something that I knew I could make money on. And there we go. So there's that. Look at how dirty my box is from all that stuff that's not cleaned. That's why my hands are always dirty. Let's get into this box really quick, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go about my day. This I bought because I loved it. It is a snuff box, and it's a cowrie shell. Look at how old this is. Very, very, very early. So it's a shell that they turned into a snuff box. Probably 1840, maybe 1850. Very, very old. Rough surface right there, as it should have. Really interesting. Slight crack there. Really, really, really neat. Very, very neat for a cowrie shell snuff, so that was cool. Anytime you can take something that didn't start life as something and an artist make it into something else, I love it. This one I wasn't, I remember this now. So this is not Listener, even though it's in a Listener box. This is Anton Mikkelsen from my memory. Yep, it is. And it's signed, let's see, that's Royal Copenhagen. And then Anton Mikkelsen hallmark right there. So modernist at its best. A new sterling chain. So I'm not a fan of this chain, nor have I ever been a fan of these kind of twisted, because they get knots and kinks and weird. So I'm not, there it goes, but I'm just not a fan of them. I think optically it's neat to push and pull the light, but it's not very practical. I went after this. I didn't buy it for the chain, but I bought it for the pendant. Porcelain, Royal Copenhagen, very modernist. Very cool. Look at the size of it. So wonderful. And I mean, you can see my affection for abstract, how I love things that are unusual, the color, the patterning, the gold, this kind of atomic burst or stylized flower, dandelion. I'm not sure what they were going for, but boy, is that really cool. And then the Denmark Royal Copenhagen mark on the back, but beautifully executed, very large. So that was a have to have. I might wear that maybe once or twice and then decide to sell it. Nothing wrong with enjoying your stuff, right? And then just a few more things and we'll be done as I dig in this bag over here because I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't know about showing this because it's not really jewelry related. I don't remember what was in these. Sorry about this, but well, I regret not being more prepared. Oh yeah, a snuff bottle. I'm sorry, perfume, which probably a vinaigrette for scent, but it's a walnut that's porcelain. It's a porcelain walnut. And then it's got its tiny little cork in here. Look, the tiny little cork isn't missing. Let me try and ease it out so I don't break the cork off. Let me see here. What's going on? Nope, I don't want to break that off in there. Hold on. No, it doesn't want to come out right now. I'm not going to force it, but the little cork is down in there that holds this, the scent on the inside. So yeah, this is just amazing for a pocket vinaigrette for scent. It's a scent bottle. So when the streets were filled with garbage back in the day, and a lady needed to refresh herself, this is what she used. I still cannot get that cork out of there. So I'm not going to force it, but it does come out. I had it out at the store. A German silver cap, but I loved that it looked like a real walnut. It looked like a real, I just loved that. It's whimsy, it's wonderful, and it's old. So that would be that's pre-1870. I don't know by how much, but pre-1870 on that one. And then this is just a beautiful bivalve shell box, sterling mounted as a purse. And this is an old one. This isn't a new one. We see these very, very, very new, and this is not new. This is very old. Very, very, very old. And I loved it. I loved everything about it, so I bought that. And that was in the same showcase as the walnut, so it kind of had the same theme going on. So that will be... So I gotta do some research on this. It's a silver dish, and I'm gonna do some research, but it's from the SS Ibis, IBIS. It is some sense of silver, or some content of silver. There's the mark. So I'm going to do some research on that. The solder seams indicate that at least a portion of it is silver. Now, is the whole thing silver? I'm not so sure. The way the feet are soldered on, definitely silver. Doesn't really have a lot of play in the metal, so I'm not sure on the content, but that is really cool for a silver bowl from the SS Ibis. So I have to do research on that. But again, I took the chance because it was just so unusual and very arts and crafts in its styling. Let's see what else I have in this bag while I'm at it. You're already here with me, and then I would, have like a question like, do you want me to stay on? And then I can't hear you anyway. Let's try it. Do you guys want me to stay on? I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you telling me to stop or to continue. All right, enough. I don't know what my problem is. I need some more sleep. That's my problem. I'll blame it on sleep. Oh, there's this one. So this is a Chinese buckle. And I'll get into the importance of this in a later video, but cloisonne, genuine cloisonne, so each little cloisonne or little cell has been applied by hand and then fired with enamel. It was converted to a pin, so it was a buckle. So essentially it went from, here's where the fabric attached, and there is like the buckle portion that they soldered this cap down to, and then a rollover clasp, which is very new, but very interesting construction to have soldered down something, but they clipped off one of the buckles. Now, I guess I could take this off and take this off and convert it back to a buckle. I might leave it as a brooch just for wearability's sake, but I loved the pattern of this original buckle Chinese. I think it could be pretty early. I'm going to do some research. The fineness of the cloisonne is incredible, and the colors were unusual. Just different. So that was interesting, an interesting convert that I normally don't like marriages like that are kind of haphazardly put together, but that was well thought out. This is interesting. I don't know if this is old or new, but I just knew I had to have it. Look at this tiny little stone bowl. Wow is all I can say. The finish, the polish, the craft, the attention to detail, the way that this is modeled in the stone itself. I have to be honest, I do not know what stone this is. I thought I knew, but I'm not sure. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take it to my gem show. Oh, and I wanted to tell you the good news. I have my gem show, my local gem show here in Ohio this coming weekend, and I am going to try and do a video from the gem show. I don't want to do a live feed because I find that to be rude and intrusive to shoppers and to people that are set up. That's just my view. But I think I'm going to do a recorded video. I'm going to shop first, and then I'm going to go back through and do a video from the gem show. I'm going to take this little tiny bowl with me. Look how small. It is so tiny. What was its use? You know, was it an old makeup pot? What was this for? And it was so well finished, so well polished, and the stone itself is just a stunner. I am going to take that with me because I'm not sure, at first, well, I'm not going to say what I thought it was because then everyone's going to say, no, it's not. And then I'm going to get upset. So is this another, this might be another rose ball. I think it was. I treated myself well this week. It is. This is the normal size of a rose bowl. This is the normal size. Let me zoom back out. So this is the normal size. Herringbone pattern, Victorian, satin glass. Of course, there's always little imperfections in the glass. So it's probably a little piece of frit or a little piece of silver foil that got burnt in the making. But look at the patterning of this. Ground and polished foot. Again, 1880, 1890. Beautiful, beautiful encased glass, ruffled top, hand altered. You can see that it undulates unevenly, so crimped as they were making it, but I loved that trapped air herringbone pattern that we seldom see anymore. But Victorian rose bubble, you can see that's the normal size. That purple one from earlier is a tiny baby compared to this. And then I think I've only got one more thing. Let me see what this is. Oh yeah, this one's that stone head. So I bought this, and I probably shouldn't have bought it, but I bought it anyway. A stone portrait head, very old, reminiscent of pre-Columbian, a drilled hole in the top, which is conically drilled, so that is correct for old. You can see that the surface on this has not been forced to look that old. You can just tell that this has been around a long time. Maybe... if I had to guess, it's between 600 and 700 years old. And again, I'm going to do further research on it and make sure that it's early and old. But I probably shouldn't have bought it because such things don't have a great tendency to sell right now. And that's okay. I might have to wait a while to sell it. But the way this is carved out and the size of it, They're normally much, much smaller than this, much more, less refined in the detail as well. So I might be able to make a little bit of money on it, but again, it was probably something that I should have held off on. So that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for stopping in with me. I hope this was okay to stay on this long. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, thank you so much. I'll see you this week for a couple more videos. And you know how I end this. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do for me. Please go enjoy the rest of your weekend. I love you.